interested in healthcare because, to me, the internet, if you've ever taken math, it's the math professor always says, the remainder of the proof is left as an exercise for the reader, which means essentially, I've done the hard part, I've done the proof, now you just write it out and do the boring part. The internet to me is sort of, it's being proved. It works, it's cool, it supports all kinds of new businesses. But what's interesting to me now is another new proof, which is, what do you use the internet for? And one of the huge, some people see it as a huge problem, healthcare. I see it as a huge opportunity. How do you foster people to be healthy? Forget reducing the cost of healthcare, reduce the need for healthcare by giving people better tools to use for themselves without even dealing with the institutions of healthcare. Probably the best tool is self-discipline, but things that help you monitor your own behavior, compare your behavior to other people's, to be statistical about it and politically incorrect. If you're men, you can compete to run farther, and if you're women, you can collaborate to exercise more, or whatever. But doing this in the company of other people. People are now measuring not just their blood pressure and their weight, but the steps they walk. People are going to start recording this information, and then they'll maintain it online. And if they want, they can share it with their doctor, they can share it with other people, they can use analytical software to kind of see what conditions they might have, get personalized advice, all this kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be huge. Net neutrality is a sinkhole because it means whatever anybody wants it to mean. You know, it's clear, I think you should be able to charge for better service. What you shouldn't do is be able to discriminate against people who compete with you who want the same service. So to me, it's an antitrust issue. It's really not one that, by and large, should be regulated beforehand. You know, so I'm concerned that people are trying to use these laws and regulations to gain some kind of advantage. You always have this danger of you pass a law to fix something and then you end up creating a worse problem somewhere else. The real issue is there's, in many local areas, there's not a whole lot of competition. You have one or two ISPs. One ISP may also be a content vendor of some kind, and there you need good antitrust enforcement. But on the internet as a whole, there's ample competition. The challenge is how to foster that and not screw it up with regulations that will simply create opportunities for lawyers to find loopholes. The stuff that I want to keep private, I keep really private, and the rest, I'm well aware that I'm being followed. But I'm in the business, so I kind of know about this. There are a lot of people who are going to be really upset when they find out. You don't recover easily from this stuff. The pharmaceutical industry has a huge PR problem. And again, in many ways it's not deserved. In some ways it is. They had really crappy marketing practices. You know, all these websites have been fundamentally lying to people, not by telling lies, but by not being open about what they're doing, and that's going to hurt them in the long run, I think. What surprised me was that the older people who were concerned about privacy were so careless. I think the young people, some of them are careless and naive too, but more people who claim to care about privacy than would still go ahead and put stuff all over the place, you know, give their name and address, be completely oblivious about what they were doing online. The business community is doing a really poor job because they are very untransparent about what they're doing. And so people are both paranoid about privacy and careless. And the advertising community says, oh, don't tell them what we're doing because what we're doing is really nice. But if they found out, they might not like it. I mean, they're creating a culture of deception, which is going to bite them. Because, frankly, I don't think most of what they're doing is bad, but I think they're making it bad by being secretive about it. I think that the challenge is to compete on not just better disclosure, because disclosure is negative, but better feedback to users about what you're doing and what you know about them.